Hello everyone, welcome back to Jesse DIY. Welcome back. Today we'll be reading Ivy and Bean, or Ivy plus Bean, and we'll be reading Take the Case. So this is number 10 out of the series. So this is part 2 on chapter 2 of Ivy and Bean. So we're gonna try to finish this book up because this is a borrowed book from my school library, so I'm going to try to finish it up with you guys as fast as I can. So we're going to read chapter 2, 3, and if we could read chapter 4. So let's go. So this is Ivy and Bean, and here's the back. So I think you guys should know the picture by now because we already read chapter 1 together. If you haven't read chapter 1 with me, go ahead and check it out. I'm not going to be reading this book because, yeah. So, let's get started. So, we'll be reading, and I'm also going to do some Roblox screen recording videos because I think they're really fun. I love screen recording. Let's get started. So, this is Ivy and Bean, Take the Case. And if you hear any background noises, it's just my mom washing some weird things. So this is my I Love Reading bookmark. I just woke up because it's like literally the morning right now. So yeah. So this is okay. So chapter 2, I think, is Pervate Instigator. So they spelled it wrong. Maybe it's just on purpose to make this book more fun. So, Pervate Investigator. Pervate, supposed to be private investigator. Well, let's get started. So, Al 7 had a cool office with his name on the door. Bean could do that, easy peasy. She began with a desk. Bean had a good board. And she had 2 triangle things that were called sawhorses, even though they didn't look like anything like horses. She put the sawhorses on the front lawn, and then she put the board on top of the sawhorses. Desk! The spinny chair was a little harder. Bean had to yank it up the basement stairs. Yank, yank, yank. And just when she got to the top, it fell back down most of the stairs. It was already broken, but it was more broken after it fell down the stairs. So here's a picture. Here's a picture of Bean, chair falling almost all the way down the stairs. As they all could see, one of the chair spinners broke off. I don't know what they're called, but I'm sure, I kind of am sure it's called chair spinners. You know, it makes the chair spin. That's why it's called a spinny chair. What the heck are you doing, Bean? Called her father from the kitchen. I'm trying to get this up the stairs, shouted Bean. Do you want help? Bean thought about that. Al 7 had a helper, a lady named Dolly. Mostly, Dolly lit Al's cigarette, but Bean figured she would have carried a chair if Al had asked her to. Yes, please. Her dad came down to the basement and carried the spinny chair up the stairs. He even carried it out to the front yard. Thanks, pal, said Bean. Her dad said, Don't call me pal. You're welcome. Bean put the chair behind the desk and sat in it. She spun round. Pretty good, but she wasn't done yet. She needed to look tough enough to solve a mystery. She needed a hat. She was pretty sure there was one upstairs in the closet of things no one wanted. So here's Bean's dad saying, Oh, do you want some help? And Bean's like, Oh yeah, sure, because she thought about Al 7's helper, Dolly. So she was right. On the highest shelf of the things no one wanted, covered with dust, was a hat. It was sort of grayish, sort of brownish. It smelled funny. When Bean put it on, she could hardly see. It was a little dangerous walking around in that hat, but Al 7 said, Danger makes me laugh. While Bean was climbing down from the shelf, she found something she hadn't expected, something great. It was a telephone, an old one with 2 parts and a cord. Perfect! Al 7 was always slamming the phone down on people. Bean slammed the phone down a few times to test it. So long, pal, she whispered, with the hat on her head and the phone under her arm. Bean went downstairs to her mom's recycling bin. Bean's mom's recycling bin was always full of important-looking papers. Papers with with rubber stampings all over them, paper with typing in 3 different colors, papers with sticky notes. Today was a good day in the being. Papers were spilling out the sides. Also big envelopes and file folders. What a haul. Since she was already down on the floor, Bean took a look in her mom's wastebasket. 5 dozen lipstick tissues and a plastic picture of an alligator lying on a log. Words coming out of the alligator's mouth said, "Sure, I'm working, but I'm working so fast I can't see it." Bean stared at the plastic picture for a long time. Was the alligator working, or was it supposed to be funny? Did grown-ups think it was funny? If they did, why? It was a mystery. So here's the old dusty, smelly hat and big hat that Bean couldn't fit on her head. Well, it could, but it just drooped down. So that's the hat. That's the telephone. Owl 7 kept on slamming on. Bean kept on slamming on. So yeah. But Bean decided not a very interesting one. With her cat, her phone, and an armful of paper, Bean went outside. Bean was a good artist. She could draw nice stuff like flowers and cute butts and dancing bagels, but she could also draw serious stuff like science pictures and pyramids. Her sign was serious. She wanted it to look like a real grown-up sign. Owl 7's sign said, "Owl 7, Private Investigator." Bean wanted a sign like that. She began to write in big, serious letters. Here's a picture of Bean being Owl 7. And she could draw dancing bagels, flowers, and a ladybug. Bean's last name was really long. It was so long that sometimes she mixed up the letters. She mixed up the letters. Bean got another piece of paper. She wrote in big, serious letters. Good. Private. Good. Investigator. Oops. Investigator. Bean got another piece of paper. Bean. Good. Perfect. Oops. Bean got another piece of paper. Bean. Good. Pfa. Oops. Bean crumpled the paper and threw it on the ground. She got another piece of paper. Bean. Good. P. Good. I. Good. Done. Phew. That's what Bean wrote. Flip it upside down and see. So Bean wrote, Bean Perva. Bean keeps on crumpling up the papers. Bean is so cute on this picture. Look how sweet she's being. Bean taped her sign to the plum tree. She put her hat on her head. She put the papers and files folders on the desk. She made her eyes into slits and looked around Pancake Court. She watched Jake the teenager walk out of his house with a gigantic shopping bag. "So long, pal," she muttered. She picked up the phone and slammed it down. She was tough. She was ready. She was ready for her first mystery. So here's Jake the teenager walking down the road. And here's Bean. Bean. P.I. Right here. So chapter 3. Undercover job. So we're on chapter 3. Here's the picture. That's undercover job. In front of every house on Pancake Court, there was a yard. Then there was a sidewalk. After that came the curb, and then came the street. At the front of every yard near the sidewalk, there was a little cement rectangle. Every house on Pancake Court had one of these little cement rectangles in front of it, and every little cement rectangle had a small hole in it. Bean had known this for years. So, ooh, look at this. So since Halloween is only 20 days away, as y'all can see, this is a haunted house. Can you close the door? Thank you. So it says haunted house. So here, since Halloween is coming up in 20 more days, on October 30th.
Yeah.
Look at it. Carolyn has a surprise for you guys. That's a haunted house. So awesome. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And since autumn is also coming, I drew a squirrel.
Squirrel. As you can see that. It's a cute little squirrel. She's a master at drawing squirrels. High five. Alright, so let's keep on reading.
We can continue.
Yeah. But what was under... Make sure you close the door.
Okay.
So y'all, that was just Caroline. Let's keep on continuing. But what was under the rectangle? Bean didn't know. It could be a tunnel that led to the center of the earth. It could be anything. Bean crouched over the little cement rectangle in front of her house and peered into the hole. No good. She couldn't see anything. She lay down on the grass and put her eye over the hole. Nothing but darkness. "What's down there?" said a voice. So that's Bean. This is a really, really rare picture. As y'all can see, it's all covered. Bean's eyes right there looking through the cement. It's all black, and somebody asked, "What's down there?" So that's a really cool picture. "Yikes!" squawked Bean, flopping over like a pancake. It was Ivy, leaning over her. "What are you doing?" It's hard to be tough while you're lying flat on your back, but Bean tried. "I'm cracking a case." "You're what?" asked Ivy. "It means solving a mystery," Bean said. She sat up. "I'm practicing to be a private investigator. P.I. for short." "P.I.? P?" Ivy said. 3.1415? "No, not that one." P.I. stands for private investigator. You know, someone who solves mysteries like Owl 7. "Owl who?" asked Ivy. So Bean explained everything about Owl 7 and Seven Falls. For a while, Ivy thought Owl 7 was 7, but soon she understood. Bean told her about how Owl 7 found clues and rubbed his face. She told Ivy about how Owl 7 snuck after people and spied on them and asked them the hard questions. How Owl 7 spied on Samuel Barba and saw him put money in a mailbox. And then about how Owl 7 gave all the money to a girl named Lola. "Why did he do that?" asked Ivy. Bean shrugged. "Don't know, but then he sits in his car for a long time and then the police come and some newspaper guys and he's a big hero. But he doesn't care and he walks off alone in an alley." Wow. Ivy was impressed. "So," Bean said, "I'm going to be a P.I. and I'm going to solve mysteries." Ivy looked around Bean's front yard. "What mystery are you solving now?" "The mystery of what's under the cement rectangle," Bean replied. "Hey," Ivy said, "I've always wondered about that." "That's what makes it a mystery," said Bean. She rolled over and entered the hole again. So here's the picture of Bean talking about Owl 7. He's a spy. Yeah. I was trying to see into it, but it was too dark. So now she hooked her finger into the hole. Ew, it's slimy. But Owl 7 wouldn't let a little slime stop him, and neither would Bean. She pulled the cement rectangle She pulled. The cement rectangle made a scraping sound. Just as she thought, it was a lid. She pulled harder. More scraping. She pulled really hard. The cement rectangle popped upward. "Wow," said Ivy, bending over the rectangle in the grass. Underneath the cement lid, down below the grass, there was a rectangular square space full of slime. In the middle of the space, a gray machine with a dial on it. Pipes came from the sides and disappeared into the ground. "Hey, look at that!" It was Sophie S. from down the street, bending over Bean. "I always wanted to know what was under there." The mystery of what's under the cement rectangle has now been solved, Bean said. It felt so good to have an answer. Sophie S. peered down into the hole. "You think the same thing is inside all of them?" "There's only one way to find out," said Bean, the P.I. So here's what's under the cement. So chapter 4 is this, but unfortunately I don't have that much time, so I'm really, really sorry. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell, and also hit the thumbs up button if you want more Roblox role-playing videos, and also Roblox screen recording videos, and also more Ivy and Bean vids, because every week I'll be checking out more Ivy and Bean. I will be checking out more Ivy and Bean books on every Friday. So if you want Ivy and Bean and you don't have them, or you want to listen to them and you want to follow along, just like this series. Bye!